Welcome to Be Quick with Mick, the world's fastest and most amazing contingent workforce interview slash game show. I'm your host, Mickey Pelletier. Here's how it works. We'll get to know our guests on a more personal level because we're more than just contingent workforce experts. We're real people. We'll wrap up the show with a challenge round featuring one of our contingent workforce related games. And remember, it's Be Quick with Mick. Answers need to be fast and straight to the point. All right, guests, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What would you say you do?
Hey, Mickey, I am Ray Culver. I'm the founder and CEO of CW Solutions Group. I have been in and around the staffing and recruiting HR tech industry for 3 decades now. So I consider myself a pretty smart person within the space.
No, definitely. I'm really excited to have you and hear your insights and have some fun here. So let's get personal. Question number one. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I think it would be, and you're going to laugh when I say this, I think it would be to be able to talk to animals,
Why?
right? Call me Dr. Doolittle. I don't know. That's just always fascinated me. Like you sit me in front of a movie screen with animals talking to each other, and you've got me mesmerized for 2 hours.
That's awesome. All right, next question. What's the best concert or live event that you've ever been to?
You know, it happened this year. I got to see Taylor Swift in London at Wembley earlier this year when I was over on a trip, and that was by far the absolute most incredible concert and experience I've ever had in my life.
I've heard great things about her show. What made it so awesome?
She sang for 3 hours straight. I mean, I hardly took a chance off stage. Everybody was just so happy. I mean, you saw dads with little girls and dads with little boys and dads with fairy wings and dads with painted faces, and everybody was just having such a good time. The energy in that stadium was tremendous, and I had never been to Wembley before, so it was a win-win.
Oh, that sounds like a great experience. Thanks for sharing that. Next question. If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
A rhinoceros.
Say
Exactly.
more.
See, there you go. A, that is my logo. So that's kind of my spirit animal, I think. B, early in my career, there was a little red book of sales that if you go way back, you probably have seen it's a little red book. Jeffrey Gideon, I think was the name. But he described it as a good salesperson is like a rhinoceros, persistent, thick-skinned, and just really pushing forward. So that's always stuck with me. And when I put my company together, that was my choice of logo of the animal. Secondly, if you think about other animals within, we'll say the wild who fear or kind of step back from the rhino, it's the lion. So the kind of the king of the jungle steps back and is very respectful of that. So that's why I like the rhino.
I like that. That's a very unique answer. Appreciate that one. Next question. What's the best road trip you've ever taken?
Yeah, this is going to get deep a little bit. My father passed away earlier this year. So the best road trip was when I first relocated from the East Coast to the West Coast. He drove out with me and the dogs. So to get to spend 3, 4, I think it was 5 days with him, just really talking as adults, and spending time talking about music. And, me and my husband were about to get married, just stuff like that. That was probably the most incredible road trip I will never forget.
Oh man, yeah, father-son road trip. There's something special about that. Thanks for sharing that. That's a very cool answer. All right, Ray, now it's time to mix it up with our book of truth. Can you pick a
All
number
right.
between 1 and 600 for a random question?
Yeah, let's do 125.
All right, 125. How do you typically react in a sudden, extreme, pressure-filled crisis? Ooh.
I think most people would tell you, and that's probably the best way to answer that, that I come at it from a very level-headed perspective. I kind of step back and try and calm everybody down as far as I could be freaking out myself internally, but to see people, in a crisis situation, just calm them down, figure out what's happening and what's the next step. But again, inside my head, I'm freaking out as much as they are.
Try to remain calm, yeah, and think it through. That's right. All right, now it's time for our challenge round where our guests will get to think quickly to answer contingent workforce related questions. All right, Ray, here are your list of challenges. Pick one and I'll explain the rules. There's the yes no opinion gauntlet, word association, never have I ever, finish the sentence, or would you rather.
Let's do never have I ever.
Okay. Similar to the drinking game, but without the drinking. Instead, you'll put 5 fingers in the air. I'll make statements relative to work and contingent workforce. For each statement that applies to you, put a finger down. We'll see how many questions it takes for you to put all 5 fingers down. So here we go.
Oh,
5 fingers in the air. Never have I ever worked past midnight to meet a deadline. Never have I ever had a project completely go off the rails due to miscommunication.
gotta put 2 or 3 fingers down.
Never have I ever worked with stakeholders who ghosted me halfway through a project without notice. Never have I ever worked with a leader who insisted on using outdated technology.
Yeah.
Never have I ever had to manage a project during a major holiday season.
Oh yeah, that's part of the industry.
Never have I ever outsourced work to a consultant or a service provider I've never met outside of a profile.
Hmm.
All right, Ray, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show, and thank you everybody for tuning in, and hope you all have a great day.
Thanks for the opportunity, Mickey.